Guys, so we're going to get started on talking about some exercises and perfecting the form. So the first one we're going to do today is the dreaded squat. So whether you love to hate it or hate to love it, it's such a goodie, so I thought it'd be a good place to start. So here we go. So we're starting with the feet. So in regards to how wide or how far apart we want the toes, it's really personal preference. The degree of turnout of your toes is really going to be dependent on the shape of your hips. So don't let anyone tell you you need to turn out more or you need to turn in more. Find a spot between vertical and horizontal that you feel comfortable with and go ahead and start there. In regards to width of the feet, you want to be a little bit wider than shoulder width, and once again, it's just kind of whatever feels comfortable. So the next thing we're going to talk about briefly is your knees. So you hear often, don't let your knees go over your toes, kind of looks like that. I'm sitting back, my knees are going forward. In this case, there's a lot of weight going through your knees, and if you're going to have any pain squatting, odds are it's going to be in your knees, so this is an important one, so listen up. So it's impressive, however, the next thing I'm going to say is going to blow your mind. So not letting your knees go over your toes actually comes from movement from your hips. So the first thing you need to think about when you're squatting is thinking about bringing your hips back. So instead of buckling at the knees and thinking about a squat that way, I want you to think about your hips coming back first and then the knees following with the bend. So it's going to look a little bit like this. And that way, my knees aren't coming forward, not too much pressure through my knees, and it's still a good squat. Next, with my arms, I kind of like to hold them out just so that I'm a little bit more balanced, especially because I'm thinking about bringing my hips back so much. I like to throw my arms out to balance. And on that note as well, as I'm coming down, I really like to train the whole range of motion. So it's important that we train the whole muscle. If we're working kind of just through this range, we're not really getting that whole muscle. So I'd prefer that you do less reps, but more range. So it's gonna look like this. Arms are coming out, hips are going back first, and I'm gonna train all the way to the bottom and come back up. So one more time, all the way to the bottom and coming back up. The last thing I just want to mention as we're putting this all together is you do want to engage your core while you're doing this whole squat. So from the start, before you even decide to move, you're going to think about turning that core on, then you're going to think about bringing those hips back, getting those arms out front, avoiding the knees coming forward and coming down. So I'm just going to stand to the side here, show you what it looks like all together. Core on, feet turned out just a little bit, hips are going back, arms are out, just like that. So that's all we have for today. Hopefully you guys give it a try. If you have any ideas for future videos, let me know and we'll get talking about those exercises. See ya!